Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over the topic of Ascension. I've talked about it a little bit in the past videos. Basically what Ascension is, it's a point when a human or any other race reaches a point of evolution where their body and mind are so advanced that when they are ready, they can literally shed themselves of their physical forms and rise to a higher plane of existence. When a being ascends, they gain a much larger understanding of the universe and the physics behind it, not to mention several special powers, including immortality. Literally, they are immortal. Since they exist as pure energy, they can make nearly anything they want happen. The ancients were the first race to ascend. Like I was talking about, there was differences between the Alterans about how to reach ascension. The Ori believed religion was the best way, and the ancients believed that science was the best way. The ancients, from what I can work out, ascended first. They became sort of masters of the ascended plane, if you will. Anyway, since that they ascended, they found out that they could literally do whatever they wanted. However, they didn't want to impose this sort of stuff on lower planes of existence, unlike the Ori did. You see, the ancients made a specific set of rules when they ascended. One of which, rule number one, no low ascended being shall help a lower ascend. Low is what they call humans and such. They believe that if you deserve to ascend, you should be able to get there on your own. And if there's an exception for whatever reason, a majority vote by the collective of the ascended beings can get you in. That's what I was able to figure out. Anyway, like I was saying, they don't believe anyone should be helped to ascend, unlike Dr. Jackson was. He was helped by an ascended being known as Oma de Sala. She helped him ascend when he had radiation poisoning from exposure to Nequadria, the very first time they ever encountered it, actually, but that's a little bit off topic. Anyway, my point is that while they believe they shouldn't do it, they allowed Omar to continue doing her work. Omar helped other people ascend, not just Daniel, there were many others. For instance, on the very first Stargate mission, they encountered a boy on Abydos named Skara. Yeah, I believe it was in season 7. No, wait, 6. It was season 6. Skara was mortally injured on Abydos when Anubis was attacking, and Omar helped him to ascend and survive. And while ascension may sound so amazing, I don't disagree with that. Understanding of the universe and its physics are what's beyond my imagination, to be honest. But I equally don't think I could just stand by and watch everything happen. The ancients can watch over whatever happens in the lower planes, and they can even, if they choose to, they can even return to those lower planes of existence like Daniel Jackson did. After their battle with Anubis on Abydos, well, Omar had to erase Daniel's memories of being an ascended being and send him back. If she didn't, well, the others would have done a lot worse. Not just the ancients, but, well, the other ascended beings. And unfortunately, they wouldn't have been as nice about it as she was. And while she may have left Daniel, well, a blank slate on a planet with no clothes, the ancients would have most likely actually tried to destroy him, or locked him in eternal conflict like what happened with Anubis. Since we're going over Ascension, I may as well bring this up. There is one way we know of that can destroy an ascended being. It was a weapon created by Merlin, or Mirrodin as he was known back then. Anyway, he created a device when he found out a big threat the Ori were becoming when they ascended. They were making other humans in their galaxy worship them like gods, and since they were being worshipped, an ascended being, when it's worshipped, gets a lot of power. They actually drain the life force from the people who are worshipping them. However, to have a massive effect, it has to number in the hundreds of thousands. In return for their worship, they were promised ascension as well. However, they never got it. The Ori never wanted to share in their power because it would mean less power for them. But anyway, back to it. Merlin created a device he called the San Graal when he was working alongside. Actually, hold that thought. He was working alongside Arthur at some point. You know, King Arthur. Merlin was one of the ancients who returned to Earth from Atlantis after the war with the Wraith. After some time, he ascended after helping Arthur quite a bit. Anyway, when he ascended and found out what was going on, he knew he had to do something. He couldn't just stand by and let, well, everything they created be lost. So he returned to his human form and gave up Ascension to construct a device he called the Sun Graal. It would then make it, well, in a sense, it was sent through to the Ori galaxy through the Supergate after Daniel Jackson completed it. Morgan Le Fay destroyed the original device, but Merlin, the clever old fool, actually made a device in where he was in stasis that would transfer his consciousness temporarily into Daniel's body. So not like when the Asgard transfer a consciousness into a new body, more or less he sort of shared his body with Merlin. At that point they were able to do incredible things. And actually Daniel temporarily got telekinesis abilities as well as the ability to use Ori technology. The thing is, the Priors were extremely advanced, just like the Ancients were when they ascended. So that was the problem. A being has to be certain amounts of advancement to use certain pieces of ancient technology. It does take a good bit of time for such a level to come around on its own. However, ancient gene is, well, rather common actually in the Stargate universe. I know of at least 3 people who have it. Not Daniel. General Jack O'Neill, Dr. Carson Beckett, and Ernal Shepard. Each of them has the gene. Dr. Beckett's it's a bit of a weak gene, but O'Neill's and Shepard's are extremely strong ones. The gene can be diluted as well as, well, prosper. Different levels of the gene allow for different levels of control. But anyway, it's a bit off topic. When they sent the device through to the Ori galaxy, it was meant to destroy the Ori themselves. However, there was one problem. They had actually given a child to a family. Well, actually, it was a woman named Vala. She went through the original Supergate when she tried to stop it from forming completely. However, since the child was part Ori, she was intended to lead their armies. When she ascended, all the power that the Ori had... Okay, let's think of it like this. You know, if you've got a load of power going to a lot of tiny little batteries? Well, imagine you take all those small batteries away and replace it with one super powerful, enormous battery. Adria was that battery. That was her name, Adria, also known as the Orisai. When she ascended after the Ori were gone, she gained all of their power by comparison, being more powerful than ever. However, while the Ancients were masters of the Ascended Plane, the Ori were much more powerful than them, because they did not believe in having people worship them. It just didn't seem right to them. And I know what you're thinking. The Ancients should have tried to negotiate with the Ori. Well, here's the thing. The more they take that power, the more they want it. It becomes more like a life support system, really. They can survive without it, they just don't want to. Like a man hopped up on drugs. Problem is that even though Merlin's device can destroy ascended beings, it was set off before Adria ascended, therefore she wasn't affected. Anyway, just going to touch on this a little bit. The actual way Adria was defeated was by Morgan Le Fay. She trapped her in an internal conflict. Morgan and Adria are now locked in eternal conflict. Morgan keeping Adria suppressed the whole time, just like what happened with Anubis and Omar. Basically, near the end of, I think it was season 7 of SG-1, no, it was season 8, my bad. Season 8, they managed to, well, defeat the replicators using a device on Dakara, the same one that was used by the Ancients to repopulate the entire galaxy, rewired a bit to destroy all life, and then done again to mimic the disruptor that General Jack O'Neill made using ancient knowledge and an Asgard computer. I mean, it makes sense. They're both Asgard. They're both ancient design. Anyway, bit off topic there for a second. Anyway, at the time, Daniel was taken to the Ascended Plane by Omar. He wasn't ascended, he was more or less just taken there since he was on board a replicator ship when it was destroyed. She basically saved him temporarily. At that point, he found who Anubis really was, or what he looked like there. he tricked Daniel temporarily. He didn't know it was Anubis originally. He couldn't remember since Omar wiped his memories. Eventually, he revealed himself, and Daniel obviously went to try and, take on Anubis. However, since Daniel wasn't ascended and he couldn't touch him. Omar, however, could. She used her power to trap Anubis in an eternal conflict. I watched it myself. The two of them are now trapped in eternal conflict. Omar is literally sacrificing herself day after day, week after week, month after month, etc., etc., to keep Anubis from escaping. Once she did that, it was all over. Anubis couldn't escape. And unfortunately, since Omar was an ancient, I believe, she was more accustomed to the ascended plane than he was. Even though he knew a lot about the ancients, he still didn't have the mastery of the ascended plane that they had. Anyway, guys, I think that's everything. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.